You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Welcome to our news. The headlines. The ECZ bans UPND from campaigning in KANYAMA. KANYAMA residents say violence is a common factor among two major political contenders. The abrupt reopening of schools raises questions. In international news, militant groups in Burkina Faso reportedly recruiting child fighters. And in sports news, fitness test for local referees commences in Lusaka. For the details, join me shortly after this break.
Are you a small to medium enterprise looking to advertise your products and services within your community and across Zambia? In these economic times, we are here to help you grow your business. Advertise with us on Camnet Market. Camnet Market is offering lower rates for prime time advertising between 06 to 18 hours every day to give your business an edge under the new normal and beyond. For more details, contact us on the following numbers: 097 975 3010 or 096 296 5883, as well as 096 244 726. You can also reach us via email on info@camnettvafrica.com. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
With the details, my name is Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga. The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has extended the voter accreditation exercise by 2 more days. ECZ Corporate Affairs Manager Patricia Luhanga says the exercise, which was scheduled to end on the 2nd of August 2021, will instead end on Wednesday, the 4th of August 2021. Ms. Luhanga says the extension of accreditation is meant to clear institutions that have already applied and received approval letters from the Commission. And a check by Camnet News at the Civic Center Accreditation Hall has revealed that hundreds of people still remain uncaptured in the exercise. Details in this report.
Tension, hunger and fury have continued to characterize the voter accreditation exercise, a process that has been described as a slow process by stakeholders. Camnet TV crew that visited the scene found hundreds of people still attempting to get accredited, with the pressure of Monday, 2nd August 2021 being the last day. Those spoken to expressed concerns over the slow process and appealed to the Commission to extend the voter accreditation exercise.
To the people who are here, there are so many, and it seems like the system which is being used is not all that good. They are very slow. They are very slow, and I'm doubting because we have got thousands of people here. They, according to that's the last day, they won't even manage to finish. I was thinking if this is it, can you look into that so that they can extend for some more days?
Looking at how the exercise is moving, it is very slow. It is so slow that it cannot finish. This program cannot finish today. It needs maybe 3-4 days more, because thousands of people are not yet captured. And looking at these people, they do cover long distances coming to this place. They stay on empty stomachs, and looking at how things are moving, it is just important maybe to increase some days. This is what I can say to ECZ.
And the Electoral Commission of Zambia Corporate Affairs Manager Patricia Luhanga says the Commission has extended the exercise by a further 2 days. The exercise that was scheduled to end on 2nd August 2021 will instead end on Wednesday, 4th August 2021, to allow for all those that received approval letters from the Commission to be captured. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Eyewitnesses at KANYAMA's Mbasela area in Lusaka have spoken out on the violence that reportedly occurred between the United Party for National Development UPND and the Patriotic Front PF Friday the 30th of July 2021, leading to the death of 2 citizens. Speaking in separate interviews with Camnet News, the residents alleged that the violence was started by PF supporters who threw stones at 2 UPND supporters as they were passing near the PF office in the area, who also decided to attack back, leading to commotion. The residents narrate that incidents of violence between the two political parties are normal in the area due to high intolerance between both political parties, making them live in constant fear. Details in this report.
On this road in Basela area of KANYAMA compound in Lusaka, 2 people Friday 30th July 2021 reportedly lost their lives due to political violence. According to eyewitnesses, the fracas happened after 2 members of the United Party for National Development UPND were passing near the Patriotic Front PF office in the area when some PF members who were cooking lunch outside their office began throwing stones at them. The narrators say it was at this point that the UPND supporters retaliated by scattering the food the PF members were cooking to the ground, which led to a fight between the two parties.
PF wanali pa office pacha vanali mazimai vamapika okekali always kambiri vamapanga vamavinga lunch pacha so vanizopika pananopika nsima vamboshoka ndio zao panazoshoka ndio zao zija vaja ma cadres vanani ma va UPND vanadulikira ponya ngoma zenze zitatu ngoma za va PF then nakutira nsima na kuponya poto then nakuvataira ndio na kutenga mamitirio enango mucha so vantu ndipo napopizika vambopaka nichivambomenya vimyala manje kuja kudo ku office kwao so ndipaka ndipana na polinga kungena mukati wanatenga materials ya vitenge na vinango then pana naenda kwa ichongwe icho manje ndipana pezeka ti ma UPND ma PF cadres na hivyo abwera ndipana mbokonkana ndiko napezeka manje ati umozi amwalira mbali mwari paja pa sokoro mngatenda kwambasera kukona kuja then winango nafera kapati mukati umu.
The KANYAMA residents lament that they live in constant fear as the conflict between the two parties is never ending, which has made them create a curfew for themselves. They have called on authorities to restore peace in the area.
Antu PF na UPND wonse sifuna kuonana pafupi aliyense abwera twakamuona chabinango avala cha PF ngati wakupezana na UPND umenyewa ukavala cha UPND ukapezana na PF umenyewa nangwise ntenda na mabala stienda safe timankhala chetithava ikayamba chabe nkhondo basi tingachethithava tilibe mtendere uli wonse.
However, according to them, both people who lost their lives on this road belong to the PF. The UPND, however, Sunday during a media address stated that one of the killed is a UPND member, Danny Chingangu. When asked to take the Camnet crew to the funeral house of their member, UPND National Youth Chairperson Gilbert Liswaniso stated that the funeral had been taken over by PF cadres who also had allegedly paid off their family members to claim that the slain was a PF member. In another development, UPND Deputy National Youth Spokesperson Phineas Pumulo has alleged that the party campaign center was demolished by PF supporters Sunday evening. Allegations of violence between the two major political parties in the country are rife as the August 12 polls approach. Zipporah Mushala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has indefinitely suspended, with immediate effect, all manner of political campaigns for the United Party for National Development, UPND, in KANYAMA constituency, Lusaka district. According to the ECZ, the decision is, however, subject to review. This follows an incident in KANYAMA constituency in Lusaka, in which the lives of 2 Patriotic Front supporters were lost under gruesome circumstances. ECZ Corporate Affairs Manager Patricia Luhanga says the suspension has been taken by the Commission in pursuant to Article 229, Sub-Article 2E of the Republican Constitution and Sub-Paragraphs 4, 1 CDI and 11D of the Electoral Code of Conduct. Ms. Luhanga says in this regard, the UPND will not be allowed to conduct any form of campaign in the said jurisdiction. Meanwhile, United Party for National Development Media Director Thabo Kawana has described the decision by the electoral body as premature. Mr. Kawana says while the death of the two people is unfortunate, the Commission has rushed into suspending the UPND from campaigning. The opposition media director insists that one of the two murdered cadres in KANYAMA is their member. And Mr. Kawana says the people of Zambia have already made a decision, regardless of what the political opponents may do.
The deaths of the two are regrettable, and we condemn violence in the strongest terms possible from wherever it comes from. We also want to remind the ECZ that they are on record of having stated that they will investigate the case that happened in KANYAMA, and in this case, the murder case. Now, ECZ has got no providence in investigating murder cases because that is in the province of the police and only the police. And so far the police have carried out preliminary investigations and the actual investigation is not yet out. Therefore we do not know what transpired and who did what. Therefore the decision taken by the ECZ to ban us in the KANYAMA election is clearly a premature decision and premeditated. And the ECZ, which is playing like a referee who is a 12th man on the other team, clearly in cahoots with the PF, is rather unfortunate that they find themselves in such a situation. Because all action the ECZ has taken against us has been instigated by the PF. Firstly, the PF will make a statement, and then the ECZ will implement it. Therefore, this ban is premature, is clearly premeditated, and we condemn the decision by the ECZ. However, I want to state for the record that it is too little too late from their side. We are going to win these elections. We will win the general elections because the people of Zambia have already decided, like we always say, this election is between the Patriotic Front and the people of Zambia, and the people of Zambia will win.
The Movement for Multi-Party Democracy says suspending the UPND from campaigning in KANYAMA means nothing at all, as it is not enough punishment and will not stop the violence being perpetuated by the UPND and PF. MMD presidential spokesperson Dr. Mwaka Twagwirayesu says the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, needs to be firm and resolute in dealing with all political parties, but have failed to do so. Dr. Twagwirayesu says the electoral laws dictate that certain gross violations should lead to the disqualification of participating candidates from the election, adding that it is clear that the ECZ are not at all fair in ensuring a level playing ground for all stakeholders in the upcoming election. She said the ECZ have demonstrated that they have no capacity to monitor who is campaigning and who is not, and whether these campaigns are in line with the regulations they have outlined in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. And moving on in the news, the Independent Churches of Zambia, ICO's President Bishop David Masupa, says the strange consignment that was parked alongside the country's ballot papers for the general election, consisting mobile phones and other accessories on Friday, should not be handled lightly by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ. Bishop Masupa has since called on the electoral body to ensure transparency when dealing with the extra cargo and make sure all stakeholders are fully satisfied. He says acting otherwise may bring undesired consequences as the country is in a sensitive electoral period. Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has written a letter to Fly Emirates company to ascertain how the other cargo was parked alongside the ballot papers on the ECZ chartered plane. In correspondence, Fly Emirates Company Cargo Customs Relations Manager states that the other consignment was parked to maximize available space on the flight. He has emphasized that the integrity of the ballot papers is not compromised, as the other cargo is general goods and not printed material.
We want to agree with the concern of the various stakeholders, more especially the political parties that are contesting in the 2021 general election in less than 9 days to come. Why we say so is that we believe that that aeroplane that carried the consignment only carried the ballot papers. Even the loading of the ballot papers on the plane was supposed to be witnessed. So we believe that the stakeholders that had gone to Dubai should have made sure that they ask that only the ballot boxes which contained the papers are on the plane. In this case, they didn't ask, and this is why we thought their being there, they were going to be very, very sensitive. The consignment needs to be destroyed in the full view of everybody in order to foster transparency and fair play as we go into the 2021 general election.
The Zambia Center for Intra-Party Dialogue, ZCID, says it is extremely saddened with the reported murder of the 2 young members of the Patriotic Front PF by suspected cadres belonging to the United Party for National Development UPND. ZCID chairperson Jackson Zilavwe says politics must be a battle of ideas and not to engage in unnecessary violence which may end up creating an environment of chaos. Mr. Zilavwe says the police need to thoroughly investigate the murder case and ensure that the criminals are brought to book. Mr. Zilavwe further urged all political parties to desist from engaging in acts of violence, stating that they should never, at any point, take the law into their own hands, even when they find themselves in circumstances that are provoked by their opponents.
You have committed yourselves to various instruments of peace accords. Let us actualize that. There is no need for us to just talk about political violence, and yet we do not communicate that same message to our members. Is this the view of the political leaders at this country, that us, the political leaders, do not have control over our members, that they cannot even take heed to the message of a violent-free campaign? And in the same vein, I would like to commend the President of the Republic of Zambia for involving the defense forces in ensuring that the peace of the country is preserved. This is what we want, and we urge all our security wings to be on high alert and thrash out any criminals that may want to disturb the peace of our country. We are one Zambia, one nation. We don't need to kill one another.
A disability organization has condemned all forms of violence that have characterized this general election and have urged all political players to uphold the peace the country is known for. Born Short Living Tour Executive Director Ntalasha Chisha has observed that there is a lot of friction, insults, killings, blame games and intolerance among political parties. He says the negative energies have a damaging impact on the future of the nation, especially women, the youth and the differently abled.
We ask our youths to refuse being used as tools of political violence. The politics of modern democracy is about the debate of ideas and not flexing of muscles. As the voting day draws near, we want to put our weight behind all women, youths, and differently abled candidates. As supporters of the mixed parliamentary system, we urge the electorates to play their part in ensuring that balanced representation goes to Manda Hill. More specifically, we want to urge the people of Chasefu to vote for Dr. Thomas Mutonga. The candidature of Dr. Mutonga is vital, as he will be a voice for the masses of differently abled persons once elected in Parliament.
Government has announced 5th August 2021 as the day for the reopening of schools for examination classes. Addressing the nation through the media Monday, Ministry of Information Permanent Secretary Amos Malupenga says the reopening of schools will be done in a phased manner to allow for the monitoring of the COVID-19 situation in schools. Mr. Malupenga says universities and colleges will continue with online learning for the next 21 days, subject to review. And the Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Vice President, Stephen Mwanza, has charged that the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, will provide food relief packages to all boarding schools to allow for all people to get back in school. Details in this report.
It is exactly 47 days after government, through Secretary to the Cabinet Dr. Simon Miti, announced the closure of schools due to the increase in the number of COVID-19 cases and deaths in the country. With pupils academically behind by 47 days, government has set Thursday, 5th August 2021 as the date for the reopening of schools. Speaking at a media briefing in Lusaka Monday, Ministry of Information Permanent Secretary Amos Malupenga says the decision to open the selected classes will enable examination classes to adequately prepare for their final examinations.
Grades 9, 10, 11 and 12 in boarding schools. Day secondary schools, grades 9, 11 and 12. Primary schools, grade 7s, will open by Thursday, 5th August 2021.
While colleges and universities have been advised to continue with the online lectures for the next 21 days, Mr. Malupenga says the opening of the remaining classes will be based on the inspection and certification by the Ministry of General Education and Health in conjunction with the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, and depending on the evaluation of the COVID-19 pandemic in the country.
You can see the President applauds the universities, colleges and other institutions of higher learning for embracing technology and ensuring continuity in learning this far. Universities, colleges and other institutions of higher learning will continue with online classes for the next 21 days.
And Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Vice President, Stephen Mwanza, says government will provide foodstuffs to all boarding schools.
All boarding schools will be supported with food supplies to minimize pressure on their capacities and indirectly support families that may be challenged and have pupils or children in these schools. All schools will be assisted with face masks and hand sanitizers.
The ministry has since assured that the reopening of schools will not affect the conducting of the general elections on 12th August 2021.
Voting won't take place in dormitories. It will take place, the classrooms will be used for that exercise. While the boys and girls, if it is a boarding school, they will remain in the dormitories while doing one or two things in terms of studying and making up on their lost work. While the parents will get engaged in voting. What about the teachers? Those who are pulling agents, doing ABC. It's just a day's work. They'll go out and do the work and come back.
Prudence Chota reporting for Camnet TV News.
The National Action for Quality Education, NAKEZ, has opposed the reopening of schools on the 5th of August 2021. NAKEZ Executive Director Aaron Chansa says the announcement is untimely and has come as a shock to both parents and teachers, considering that preparations for the reopening of schools was scheduled for the 16th of August 2021. Mr. Chansa says the development will undoubtedly squeeze parents economically, as they will have to quickly look for money to send children to schools, especially for those in boarding school. He has since appealed to the Republican President, Dr. Edgar Lungu, to allow learners and teachers get back to schools after the 12th of August general elections.
The abrupt announcement that schools are going to reopen on Thursday
has come as a huge shock, not only to the parents but also to the teachers. Shocking in the sense that most parents across the country expected schools to reopen on the 16th after elections. Most teachers, more than 95%, are very busy with a lot of electoral activities. Schools are going to be polling stations, and we wonder why the ministry is rushing into reopening schools amidst these activities. Schools are not ready to conduct lessons, and we now appeal to the president to quickly intervene and reverse this decision. It's not in the best interest of education, it's not in the best interest of the teachers, not in the best interest of the parents. And the parents, if this decision is going to stay, will be forced into economic stress because they will be forced to look for money to send children to school, especially those that are in boarding schools. So we join the millions of Zambians who are shocked at this decision, and we hope that the president is going to prevail over this matter.
We take our first set of commercials. Do stay with us as we still have more interesting stories lined up for you.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
In this fast-paced era of industrial boom and population growth, there is need to invest in smart ways of managing electricity and water consumption and reducing utility billing costs associated with the postpaid billing system. At Savenda Electronics, we manufacture right here in Zambia different types of high-quality smart electricity and water meters to customer specifications. Savenda Electronics water and electricity meters help you monitor your usage and gives notifications such as low units, tampering, low battery, and many other features. These easy-to-use meters makes it easier to buy units even in these COVID times and top up just from the comfort of your space. Favorable contract terms are available to both electricity and water utilities. For more details, get in touch with us on the following numbers: 0956 580 349 or 0977 498 318. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
On August 12th, we have a choice to make. Perhaps the most important choice in our country's history. One option is to stick with this government and keep things how they are. But after 10 years, we all know what this will mean. More unemployment, more empty plates, more empty pockets. But yet, alternatively, we can embrace change. Change that will create jobs, reduce prices, and more importantly, put food on our tables. Change that will restore hope and move Zambia forward. Sometimes, politics can feel complicated, but this choice could not be clearer. Change for a better life, or 5 more years like the last 10. On August 12th, the choice is yours. The future of your family, the future of our country is in your hands.
President Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the Patriotic Front have transformed the transportation sector by facilitating the construction of bus stations around the country. Vote for Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the PF that have brought you change.
At Master Signs, our services range from outdoor, indoor signage such as billboards, banners, 3D light boxes, pylons and neon signs. We are located at plot number 397A, Makeni Road, Lusaka, at Oryx Filling Station. For more details, call us on +260 967 100 090 or +260 966 999 981, or better still, email us at infomastersign@gmail.com. Master Sign, we will make it shine.
Are you a small to medium enterprise looking to advertise your products and services within your community and across Zambia? In these economic times, we are here to help you grow your business. Advertise with us on Camnet Market. Camnet Market is offering lower rates for prime time advertising between 06 to 18 hours every day to give your business an edge under the new normal and beyond. For more details, contact us on the following numbers: 097 975 3010 or 096 296 5883, as well as 096 244 726. You can also reach us via email on info@camnettvafrica.com. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. The National Albinism Initiative Network of Zambia says there is need for government to come up with deliberate policies aimed at protecting people living with albinism. Speaking to Camnet TV in an interview, Network President Miracle Piri says most political parties say very little about people living with albinism, yet their lives are in danger and they continue to live in fear, yet they are quick to act to other matters that do not require the same urgency. Mr. Piri says people living with albinism are being killed, which should not be the case. Details in this report. Albinism is an inherited genetic condition that prevents the body from making enough color or melanin to protect the skin from the sun. Due to their skin sensitivity to light and sun exposure, persons with albinism are likely to suffer from sunburn, leading to skin cancer and other skin-related conditions. Persons with albinism endure structural and systematic discrimination in Zambia. They continue to live in fear for their lives as they are actively hunted and killed for their body parts. Graves of those that have died are often tampered with their remains stolen.
This issue of ritual killings, ritual attacks, when we went in Kasama, we find that that side, it's very, very, very worse, whereby you find that we tried to interview some parents, we find that someone telling you like, no, if abana turabesarira omulando wakwebati kuno, you find that they are saying, they are saying, you people, you are even keeping money, payadi, you know. I don't know what we can do, and I don't know, because it's like it's going worse.
It is for this reason that the National Albinism Initiative Networking of Zambia says, through its president, Mr. Miracle Piri, that there is need for government to come up with deliberate policy to protect the lives of people living with albinism.
As people with albinism, there are challenges. Attacks. Today, my parents have albinism, my opa. Because we pick up on schools, we pick up on Tivana, we pick up on school, so this appeal could a government, like a president, National Albinism Ward Police. Because you know, I'm going to go to Vinyana, then video Musanga, Vinyana. Ngati wapachi nyama mwachi nkala amuna mchili chonse timono cha wantoma say that that's obija law you must visit but kuli wanapa abantu wana albinism unajua people with albinism manja kiabo mbia kwa today because wanaambia ma cases from 2011 until to date kulipenda mbia kwa to ana ujanapa ana albinism na government nangu law inamusa visit na manga kulibe.
Mr. Piri further complained that prominence is given to matters of less value compared to the safety of the lives of people with albinism.
Kuti kungali kuna law mzana constitution munga vankuri ati kuti mzana constitution tukatiangala vinyana vinachani vina act nanga why is vantu ise tina why is tibe tingati act munga chani ngati mpasa respect vinyana mpasa respect to kutoa tina police vinyana vina police ako minister of chani minister officials but is a persons with albinism could be document it was a to protect albinism.
Clearly, there is need to develop a holistic concept of rights for people living with albinism, as these known findings reiterates the need for increased awareness and public health interventions for albinism in order to better address the medical, psychological, and social needs of this vulnerable population. Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga, Camnet TV News in Lusaka. Bus and Taxi Drivers Association of Zambia National Secretary Sydney Mbewe says all the activities carried out by the association aimed at fighting COVID-19 are self-financed and through the help of stakeholders. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Mbewe says government should play a role in ensuring that markets and bus stations are fully considered with resources that will help in the fight against COVID-19. Mr. Mbewe has stated that these are areas of high interest to contract COVID-19.
Stations, because all the activities we have carried up to now have been self-financed by the association, and also those that also been financed by other stakeholders. Now, we feel that government should play a very big role in ensuring that the markets and bus stations are fully considered on financing, on fighting the COVID-19, because these are areas of high interest to making the population not contract the COVID-19 unnecessarily. Because we have witnessed as of now that even the Ministry of Health and all the infrastructure attached to health is now overwhelmed. We have mortuaries that cannot take in any more bodies. We have hospitals that cannot have any more body spaces to take in those that are being brought in. And even the ambulances that are picking people from wherever they have been taught to pick people now cannot manage, because the overload is just overwhelming. So I think it's high time we partnered up with the government to ensure that we create a front line of human resource that is going to create visibility for the Ministry of Health and government to ensure that we fight the COVID-19.
A culture expert at the University of Zambia has advised traditional leaders to find ways of holding their different traditional ceremonies virtually. In an interview with Camnet News, Ngankanani Moyo says the traditional leaders should examine if at all they can be hosting traditional ceremonies using technology in the changing world. Mr. Moyo hopes that this is one of the ways in which culture can be appreciated. More in this report.
With the progress in technology since time immemorial, virtual learning, a combination of computer software and the internet used to convey messages to different masses, has proven to be one of the best ways of communicating in this pandemic time. It enhances the learning experience using technology, whether at home or at an education organization. Traditional ceremonies seem to have come to a standstill because of COVID-19. Ngankanani Moyo, a cultural expert at the University of Zambia, has advised traditional leaders to consider holding traditional ceremonies virtually.
Someone who visits us, okay? The Europeans say when you're in Rome, do as the Romans do, right? When you're in Africa, do as the Africans do. But then we have a different case where when you come to Africa and you tell Africans, no, I'm not going to do as I do. Actually, you have to do as I do, which is insane. How can you do that? It's nonsense, okay? So this, cultural delusion, let me not use delusion actually.
Mr. Moyo says traditional leaders must examine other ways of holding traditional ceremonies.
Okay, something happens, maybe there's climate change, then you find that the way we operate also changes, okay? So when we interact with other people, when we interact with the environment, whatever we do changes. When we interact with our history, even where we're coming from, that also affects us and we change. And if you look at what is going on right now, you can clearly tell that a lot is changing. As you pointed out, traditional ceremonies are not taking place anymore, okay? We can't, because we know that it is a risk. I personally have been hit, okay, by COVID, and it's really deadly. And as much as I'm a proponent of African, cultural practices, I'll still say we should be ready to take changes into account.
Traditional ceremonies are of great importance as they motivate, stimulate people's emotions, and prompt memories. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
KEPRO Research Institute Zambia has charged that the resources that government has channeled towards the agriculture sector are insufficient to boost the sector. Speaking at a virtual commemoration of a Farmers' Day being held under the theme Enhancing Productivity Through Innovation and Market Access, KRI Chief Executive Officer Dr. Frank Kayula says there is need to increase financing to the agriculture sector in order to increase productivity. Dr. Kayula has since encouraged the farmers to outsource inputs now while they are affordable before the onset of the rain season.
Down to the level of farmers, what are farmers themselves doing? Farmers through KRI Zambia, as you can see behind me, are ready to get engaged in many economic activities in agriculture. They are ready to get engaged in fish farming, they are ready to get engaged in livestock farming, they are ready to get engaged in irrigated farming, they are ready to get engaged or continue getting engaged in grain production as well as processing. But money that is being invested in the agriculture is very little and sometimes not directed to the right places. We want as much as possible to ensure that farmers are accessing inputs on time. And so as their farmer organization, we have also engaged input suppliers, the private sector, so that they bring on board their inputs and distribute to the farmers on time. Behind me is about 100 bags as a sample of what may be done. We have been distributing these inputs at affordable prices where farmers are paying half the cost of the fertilizer now and the other half of the cost will be paid later. And this is real, meaning farmers are accessing this fertilizer at 295 kwacha now, and they will pay the other 295 kwacha for each pocket when they have harvested.
We take another set of commercials. Do stay with us as we still have international and sports news. Don't go away.
Good day to you, our dear esteemed customers. As Amtel, we're glad to bring something of excitement to you, and it's a promotion we've dubbed Yatu, which simply means it's yours. And in this promotion, we're giving benefits that are tailored to you specifically as a customer, depending on the profile or the segment that you're sitting on as a customer. And in this promotion, we are saying you will get from as low as 13 way benefits amounting to over 500%, and it's all for you so that you get more benefits. So to know more about Yatu, stay on.
Yatu is a promotion that offers Zamtel customers amazing benefits that are made just for you. Zamtel customers will get amazing benefits of over 500% bonus back the value that they used when they subscribe to a Yatu offer. Yatu benefits will be usable for Zamtel to Zamtel calls, Zamtel to Zamtel SMSs, and browsing on pay-as-you-go defined rates. For you to access the amazing Yatu offers, all you have to do is dial *335# and select option 1 to purchase the offer that best suits you. Zamtel customers will have the ability to actually purchase the Yatu benefit more than once. So this means you can purchase the offer twice, you can purchase the offer 3 times, and the benefits will be accumulative at the end of the day. Yatu benefits will be able to be redeemed if you subscribe to the same offer within a 5-day period. So if you have unused benefits from the previous day and the expiry date comes, you can still subscribe to the same offer within 5 days and your benefits will be able to accumulate. How amazing is that? For you to check your Yatu benefit balance, all you have to do is dial *335# and select option 2 and you'll be able to see your current balance.
For too long, Zambian people have endured tough times, high levels of unemployment, lack of freedom, ever-increasing cost of living, poor health facilities, corruption, and injustice. Time and time again, we have been promised a better tomorrow, but things are only getting tougher. My fellow Zambians, someone is listening. Every outcry, every obstacle and pain brought by the trials and tribulations you're facing, he is listening. A leader with a heart for the people of Zambia. Only he can fix what is broken. A leader who stands for unity and prosperity across all ethnic, religious, and gender considerations to live in harmony in a free and democratic society. Change is coming. Change that will restore the country and build it from the ground up. Let's make impactful change by voting Hakainde Ichilema.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties, on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. In international news, doctors in public hospitals in Nigeria began Monday's strike to protest against the non-payment of salary arrears and lack of resources in hospitals as the country faces a third wave of coronavirus. The strike, the latest in a series of medical staff work stoppage, is led by the National Association of Interns, which represents 40% of doctors in Nigeria. The union is asking the government to honor its promise to pay compensation to the families of doctors who died while fighting the coronavirus. The association says Nigerian doctors are ill-equipped and underfunded for the job, while the facilities in state-run hospitals are deplorable. Nigeria, a country of 200 million people, had 42,000 registered general practitioners in 2019, according to the Nigeria Medical Association, or 2 doctors for about 10,000 people. In other news, the number of children recruited by armed groups in Sahel country rose at least 5-fold so far this year, up from 4 documented cases in all of last year, according to an unpublished report by international aid and conflict experts. Here's a roundup.
In early June, death and destruction swept through Solhan in northern Burkina Faso. Militants raided the village, killing about 160 people. The survivors say they saw teenage boys helping the attackers to torch houses. Children are increasingly getting sucked into the violence in the Sahel, both as perpetrators and as victims. We're seeing children on the ground who are hungry, who have no access to education. We see children who are angry because they don't understand what happened to their parents, who were killed without explanation, without any form of justice. The army also commits abuses in front of them, and these actions contribute to traumatize them for life. So these children are indeed very vulnerable, and this is really the time to act. The number of children recruited by armed groups in Burkina Faso rose at least 5-fold so far this year, up from 4 documented cases in all of last year, according to information in a report by international aid and conflict experts yet to be made public. As parents, we're really afraid. Children are more vulnerable to be recruited by fighters because they are not conscious enough to decide. I'm worried that my child or brother or relative could join the fighters. At least 14 boys are being held in the capital Ouagadougou for alleged association with militant armed groups, according to Burkina Faso's public prosecutor.
Doctors and public hospitals in Nigeria began Monday's strike to protest against the non-payment of salary arrears and lack of resources in hospitals as the country faces a third wave of the coronavirus pandemic. This strike, the latest of a series of medical staff work stoppages led by the National Association of Interns, NARD, which represent 40% of doctors in Nigeria. The union is asking the government to honor its promise to pay compensation to the families of doctors who died while fighting the coronavirus. The association says Nigerian doctors were ill-equipped and underfunded for the job, while the facilities in the state-run hospitals are deplorable. Nigeria, a country of 200 million people, has 42,000 registered general practitioners in 2019, according to the National Medical Association, or 2 doctors to about 10,000 people. The authorities fear that a strike could further destabilize the health system, which is already under pressure from the coronavirus pandemic, at a time when it must vaccinate its population.
The United States has reiterated on its pledge to help Sudan reinvigorate the economy and to attract foreign investments. The USA Chief Samantha Powell Sunday hailed Sudan's transition during Khartoum, where she discussed with officials the country's urgent economic and humanitarian needs.
Everyone in Sudan is grappling with inflation, higher prices. That is very difficult. And we, above all, as the United States, want to find a way to partner with you to reinvigorate the economy, to attract foreign investment to this country, to improve the investment climate so that big companies and banks and others want to come to Sudan, that they see that this is the new Sudan, that they can provide job opportunities to your young people who helped make this revolution and this transformation.
The U.S. aid said ahead of a visit that Western nations sought to support the civilian-backed transition government after decades of Bashir's rule. Sudan has been going through a rocky transition since the ouster in April 2019 of strongman President Omar al-Bashir.
We now get into sports news. Football Chance Foundation Academy coach has called on young people in Zambia to join in the sports of football, as it is also a way of earning income. In an interview with Camnet Sports, Football Chance Foundation Academy coach Alfred Shaba has encouraged the young people in the country to join in any sports discipline rather than just staying at home. Details in this report.
According to the current projections, Zambia has experienced a population growth of about 18.38 million people, of which the number is expected to increase to 80.78 million people by 2099. The population, which is mostly dominated by young people. This is why Football Chance Foundation Academy coach has called on the young people in Zambia to join in the football sports. In an interview with Camnet Sports, Football Chance Foundation Academy coach Alfred Shaba has encouraged the young in the country to join in any sport, as it can be a way of making resources.
By the movements of the teams from one place to another to avoid the higher costs of the fixtures. As a team, right now we are preparing and we are very ready to play this upcoming fixture. To the players, I feel like the players are so much ready because the preparations are so positive.
Mr. Shaba says football is a fast-growing sport and has been introduced to children who play in under 12.
us develop our football in our country. My appeal to other teams that aspire to other players, individuals who are just staying home, this is high time they realize that football is growing and people, they earn a living through football. So as a result, I would call for those people who are watching me to take time and participate in our nearest.
Zambia's rapid population growth poses serious problems for poverty levels and resources, hence the need for young people to indulge in more meaningful activities such as sports. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
And still in sports news, preparations for the 2021-2022 FASO season have hit high gear with referees, match commissioners and assessors undertaking preparatory courses. Referees are undergoing medical and fitness tests at National Hero Stadium in Lusaka. International referees also must be run under the rule by CAF FIFA instructors. Banda said the exercise had attracted over 60 female referees and 150 men. The exercise will trickle down to all provinces for referees in the lower leagues to also be tested. Some of the notable participants are FIFA referees Janice Kazwe, Udrik Nkole, Dietrich Kafuli and Matthews Hamalila. Others are FIFA assistant referees Kabwe Chansa, Thomas Kaela, Mick Zulu and Triwell Nyirenda. Among the pool of the top female referees are Patience Mumba, Gloria Samumba, Anita Walia, Tendai Sakala and Mata Mwafabu. The female assistant referees are led by Diana Chikotesha, Mercy Zulu and Gertrude Nyirenda.
The program we are having here at Heroes Stadium today is just the starting of the test for the referees. From here we are going to move into the 10 provinces of Zambia. All the 10 provinces, name it, Northern Province, Muchinga, the Northwestern, Ruapula, Copperbelt, Eastern, Southern, will be there to test the referees. Because what we want to do is we want to make sure that even the lowest referee that is officiating in the lowest league is tested and is fit to take up the games.
Today we came for a fitness test because we are nearly to start the season, 2021-2022 season. So we came here to test our fitness level and we did our medicals. I passed the fitness and I passed the medicals. I'm ready to start the league.
Everyone's dream to be a FIFA referee. So we're working hard to be where Johnny is, the Dianas, the Gladys, the Achiwas, you know, so we're looking forward to that. Those are they inspire us a lot. So we're working hard. It's just a matter of working hard. Nothing is difficult. Everything is simple if you work hard. So just pray that one day we'll be on the FIFA panel.
Well, that sports item brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. The ECZ bans UPND from campaigning in KANYAMA. KANYAMA residents say violence is a common factor among the two political contenders. The abrupt reopening of schools raises questions. In international news, militant groups in Burkina Faso reportedly recruiting child fighters. And in sports news, fitness test for local referees commences in Lusaka. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, which is coming from the book of 1 Chronicles 4 verse 10, and it reads, Jabez cried out to the God of Israel, "Oh, that you would bless me and enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me and keep me from harm so that I will be free from pain." And God granted his request. On behalf of the entire news production crew and myself, Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga, thank you so much for watching Camnet TV News on Camnet TV, not just another channel.